Hey everybody, welcome back. First, I'd like to start off by updating you on my current progress, which there isn't any. I am still trying to pay off stuff, but unfortunately, I can't do it until my next paycheck hits, so we're a little delayed there. So just stand by. I will tell you that my rental property, because of the nature of COVID-19 and the way that's going, is that they've been late with their rent. So I've been kind of toying with the idea of doing some sort of deferment for the mortgage, but I don't think I'm there yet. I can still cover the rent or the mortgage payments without that. So that's what I'm going to try to do. So the main focus of today's video is I want to talk about Mint.com. For those of you that don't know, Mint.com it's either a website or an app, depending on which you prefer, and it allows you to integrate all of your bank accounts, your credit cards, loans, even bills like my cell phone, my cable bill, all that stuff is all on Mint.com. And through that integration, it makes it very easy to track different things. So, for example, the student loans I spoke about before, I get messages or push notifications from the app telling me or reminding me when the bill's coming due. Same with the mortgages and stuff like that. So it's a very good website. I personally do not get any type of endorsement or anything with Mint. So I use it just because I find it to be the easiest way to track everything. So a little bit about Mint. Mint is like I said, website or app, and it's designed by Intuit. Intuit's the same company that makes TurboTax. Maybe it's a false sense of security, but because they also work on TurboTax, I believe that the website and app interface are pretty safe. So it's a simple app. You end up logging in, and for the first time, they're going to want your email. You create a password. I think they want like your name and birthday and stuff like that. They don't sell your information off to other companies, so you won't get this big flood of emails trying to push different things to you. Mint makes their money off of pushing products to you, and I'll explain that towards the end. So first, I want to tell you like how Mint works. So as I said, when you log in, you can put in pretty much all your financial information in there. Your checking accounts with all your banks, your savings accounts, IRAs, 401ks. It pretty much has an interface with just about every other financial institution you can think about. Even for me being a ex-military member, I have the thrift savings plan. To my surprise, it actually interfaces with the TSP website, tsp.gov, I think. And it's really amazing. I mean, like, you can't really see it on the app too well, but if you go on the website, it'll even show you like the graphs and charts for all the stocks you own and how they performed and stuff like that. But I don't really use it for those purposes. I use Mint for simply budgeting and budget tracking. So when you go into the main interface, the main site, one of the pages out you can go to is just a budget. And they have tons of just preloaded budgetary categories. So everything from like housing expenses, which include like home repair, lawn mowing, stuff like that, all the way to your bills, your cable internet, your gas, your water, other utilities, garbage collection. And then it goes all the way into like just entertainment. Like if you like to go to the movies, if you like to shop, even under the shopping category, it has subcategories for things like gifts, books, stuff like that. It's a really amazing website. And the algorithms aren't perfect, but the way it's supposed to work is that when you swipe your card and buy something, the website will automatically put that charge into the category that it thinks it belongs to. There are some problems with that. For example, if you go to a gas station and you buy, $30 worth of gas for your car, but then go inside and get like a bottle of water and a bag of chips, sometimes it'll see both of those charges as you just getting gas for your car. So it does require some maintenance. And then you can set upper limits on how much you want to spend in each category. So for example, I'm sure you've heard me say that one of my major flaws is eating out. So I set my upper limit of eating out at $200. So once I hit about 175, 180, I start to get push notifications saying, hey, you're getting close to your eating out budget. Now, some people will say that's either a good thing or a bad thing. I personally think it's a good thing. It works for me. I enjoy getting like reminded like, hey, you should stop doing this before you blow through your budget. The other thing it does is it does the monitoring. So as I told you that the every charge you have is cataloged in there. So let's say you get to your upper budget of eating out. You can actually click on just that budget category and Mint will take you to every charge that it believes was you eating out. And like I said, sometimes it's not. Sometimes like you go to, like say you go to a Wawa, which is an East Coast thing. It will primarily pick it up as a food place. So if you spend $50 filling up your tank in your tank of gas in your car, it might pick up that entire $50 as food, which obviously it isn't. So you have to go in there and kind of move it. And this is why I've showed it to friends before, and some of my friends didn't like it. They're like, "Oh, well, it puts things in the wrong category." It's like, yeah, it does sometimes. Most of the time, it's pretty right on, but sometimes it does mess up. And it's up to you to kind of go in there and check your finances. But I don't mind doing that because I like checking my finances. I like going in there and make sure everything's good. So once you do that, you kind of get used to it. Once you build your budget and you see that the where everything's going, Mint is supposed to learn. And if it puts something in the wrong category 2 or 3 times in a row and you fix it, it's supposed to learn and start putting it in the correct category. It's hit or miss on whether it does that in my experience. There are probably a lot of really good videos on YouTube about how exactly Mint works. Like I said, I don't really feel the best about showing screenshots of my personal accounts. When you open Mint, you'll see that when you load up your accounts into it, it'll have like the last 4 digits of your account numbers and stuff like that on the right-hand side, unless you nickname your accounts. My accounts still just have part of the account number, and I just don't feel comfortable posting that on YouTube right now. But there are a lot of videos about it, and it's a good program. One of the other things Mint does is it checks your credit score for you. It kind of does the same thing that Credit Karma does, where it checks your credit score pretty consistently without impacting your credit. Normally, when a bank checks your credit, it actually is a negative mark on your credit score. It's only like a couple points at first, but I know I had when I just got a mortgage and I had to get my credit checked 3 different times to get the mortgage, and that's because of the time when I started looking for a house and start my my purchasing process was about 7 months before I actually made an offer on a house, so they had to recheck everything. That sucked, but it was only a couple points. Well, when Mint checks it, it's the same thing as like when Credit Karma checks it, where it doesn't impact anything, and it's not a bad system. I use Credit Karma primarily for checking and keeping up to date on my credit score, because I feel like it has the most features available, but this doesn't hurt either to have it set up with Mint. So another thing that Mint does that's really nice for me is it keeps track of all your assets. So for me, I own a little bit of silver, that's in there, but it's not something I can integrate, so I just put in an asset and then manually type in silver and the value of it. I have savings bonds that also aren't integrated, but if you have a car, you can put it in there. If you have a lot of nice furniture or clothes, art, all that stuff can be manually put in there. But one of the things I like most about it is that you can put your property in there, actual real estate. So I have both my Jacksonville and my Virginia Beach residence put in there, and about once a month, I think the website actually pings Zillow and takes what they estimate your property to be at and puts it on there. And because this website has access to all of everything you put in there, so for me, it has all my debts, obviously, and all my investments and all my cash, which would be checking, savings accounts, stuff like that. Because it has access to everything, it also produces your net worth. And that's actually how I'm tracking my net worth for the purposes of this year and a half long goal or experiment. The idea is that it's a one-stop shop for a lot of the financial services you need. Now, I'm going to tell you a couple downsides to Mint, but I feel like if you know it going into it, it's not really that big of a deal. They push things. So for example, because you linked up your mortgage to the website, it knows what you're paying monthly, your type of mortgage, and your interest that you pay on it. So what it'll do is it will, like lenders will actually pay Mint to push products. So every once in a while you'll get a push notification, or maybe just on the front page it'll be like, hey, we can lower your interest payments on your mortgage if you refinance through whoever they're pushing you towards. So they do it with both credit cards, mortgages, and stuff like that. So in addition to pushing the mortgage and credit cards to you, and some of the credit cards aren't even that bad of a deal, really. Some of them are actually lower interest or lower fees than what you're currently paying. You just have to be aware that that's how Mint's making money off their product. That's why Intuit made the website and the app. It's to help push financial services to the user, which is you. The other thing that they do is they push investments. Now, this is one thing I'm not a fan of. So years ago, I get pushed a thing about Lending Club, and I'll probably make a whole nother video just about Lending Club, my experience with them. For those of you that don't know, Lending Club's a peer-to-peer lending service where I loan money almost directly to a user, and then they pay me back the principal plus interest, and it's an investment thing. I felt like that since Mint was pushing it, and Mint was supposed to be a good financial website, that it did a lot of the due diligence that I was supposed to do, which would mean I didn't have to do it. I was wrong. It's not that Lending Club was bad at the time, it's just that I went in very sloppily and I didn't really do the research I should have. They also pushed like Acorns, but I'm pretty happy with their services. They pushed Robinhood. They push I forget the name of the application, but there's an app where you can do sort of peer-to-peer real estate investing services. I have no firsthand experience with that, but they push these other things because they're an advertisement platform. So these companies that want to start up with their financial service products will pay Mint to have it on there. That's pretty much the big con. Another side con that I'm not really a fan of is that because of increased security of bank accounts, it seems like if you have like 10 or 20 bank accounts or different accounts on there like I do, you're in there probably once a week trying to retype in security codes or answering like security questions and stuff, because as the security protocols update on all your banks, you have to update Mint's information, or you have to update that information on Mint. So that can be kind of a pain in the butt. I know that I have an HSA, which is health savings account, which I'll probably make another video about, talking about those. Health savings account, the one I have, requires a push notification to my phone each time you want to access it. And I can turn the feature off, but I really don't want to. Well, that means every time Mint wants to ping it, which they want to do everything like every 12 hours, they want to get the new information from your websites. So you have to pretty much constantly go in there. So what I do is about once a week I'll go in there and make sure everything's updated. And then if during that week things become unupdated, or accounts become not shut down, but blocked out, waiting on new information, I won't do it until I get around to it. It's not really that big of a deal. But that is a con. But in the end, if I had to do a review of Mint from my personal experience, I think the benefits of it greatly outweigh the cons. The simple fact is that most people are not going to keep dedicated spreadsheets and mark down every single time they make a purchase. Or if they do, it's only going to be big purchases. It's not going to be. This is a great way of tracking everything. You know where every dime you spent. You can even put in your credit card. So whether you're spending, let's say, for example, you won't use your check card one for a purchase because you're like, oh, I'll use a credit card and kind of hide it. Well, ideally, you have your credit card hooked up to Mint, so it can track that too. So in the end, I actually love the website, and it's a large tool I'm using to get me to where I want to be at the end of next year. All right, guys, that's it for me. If you like Mint, I strongly suggest you at least try it out. It's free. There's really no harm in doing it. Just be wary of all the push advertisements that you get. So anyway, have a good day. Thank you for stopping by, and keep saving.